Hello everyone, I'm Tamara with the Knitting Lab, and today what I'm going to do is show you how to do a row of single crochet stitches down the edge of the steek that you created for our Stranded and Steeked Stitch Cup Cozy. I'm going to hold it the way we knit it. We knit our project this way. We cast on at the bottom here and worked back and forth in ribbing. Then we cast on 4 extra stitches here, and then we joined into a round and started working our 16 round color work pattern, at which point we knit pretty much 2 rows. We knit 1 row and then we knit around and bound off our stitches, and then we worked flat again to create the ribbing at the end, and then we bound off. So the next step in the process is to secure the steek by making a series of crocheted stitches. I'm going to show you the side that's already been done. This is using the single crochet stitch. I'll tell you about the markers in a moment, but we have to do 2 sides of the steek. And there we go. So this seafoamy green is the yarn that was used to single crochet. And again, if I hold it the way we worked, the steek stitches are, here's the row 1 of the steek, column 1 I could say, this row, the gray. The second is the blue. The third is gray. The fourth is gray. The fifth is blue. And the last 6th column is gray. So when I turn it sideways, what I've done is single crocheted 1 leg of the contrast color, the furthest leg away from me, and the closer leg of the gray of the main color right behind it. So that's already been done all the way down the end. And then I'm going to turn it around and do the other side here. And for clarity, I've gone ahead and stuck stitch markers, removable stitch markers, into the first and last stitch of these columns. The first one is easy to see. This is really at the end of what we've worked. It still is contrast color and main color. And my crochet hook is going to go right in to the pair that the marker's in right now. These 2. From my direction, so from front to back, going to go in there. And I'm going to end past the color section because in the beginning we knit the main color around before starting the contrast. So to secure it and make sure it's secure, I'm going to actually secure the last 2 stitches as well. So here's the last of the blue, and then there's 1 here of the main color. So these 2 are going to be attached, and these 2 are the last ones that are going to be crocheted together. So I'm going to start, and there are many ways for you to attach. It's fine if you just put your slip knot on your hook and start going in. You could do it that way. I'm going to show you another way. I'm going to take this marker out and pop my knot off the hook. And now my crochet hook is going right in where the marker is. Whoops. There it is. I'm going to take the marker out. And what I did is I put my hook, my crochet hook right in. I'm going to pop that slip knot on the needle, on the hook. There. And I pulled it through. So instead of joining it a different way, that's just one more way. I pulled the loop through those stitches. And now, for security, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead. Whoops. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through. So it's really like doing a slip stitch there. Okay. There we go. So I just joined my yarn there, and that's secure. And now I'm going to go into the next pair of stitches that are right to the left. So I'm going to look at my work. There. And I'm going to yarn over, and keeping in mind, if you're not used to crocheting, the yarn is coming from the last stitch, so it might be going across your hook like this. I'm catching it and bringing it through the pair of stitches. I promise it's easier if you're not doing it in front of a screen trying to record it. Okay, there we go. And I have 2 loops, and now I'm going to yarn over and bring it through both. There, another single crochet. I'm going to keep working. It's kind of close work, so it might be hard to see, but I'm going to just keep going. Bring it through the pair. The most important thing is that every stitch gets crocheted. Every pair of stitches, I should say, get crocheted. There we go. But I promise, as I said, this is easier when you're just looking at the work. And you want to use good lighting and take your time. And you can see, as I'm working, it's a little bit loose. Here's the edge of single crochets. And this is where it's going through, whoop, attaching one leg of the gray to the blue next to it. Although it is hard for you to see because it's crocheted. I'm going to go all the way down the row and do this. When I'm done, I'm going to cut the yarn over, and just bring it through the last stitch and gently pull to tighten it. And that's fastening it off. Then I'm going to turn it this way. I want it to be facing you in the direction that we knit so that you see the stitches from the correct side. Because when this is all done, we're going to go in with our sharp scissors. You know what? I'm going to take this out and leave a big loop right now. We're going to go in with our thin and sharp scissors, and we're going to start from the bottom, and we're going to make sure, it's really important, if you've heard the expression measure twice, cut once, we're going to make sure we know where we go. And I'm going to use my crochet hook as a pointer. We're going to go right in between these 2 legs, because the right column of legs is part of the stitch on the right, and this is the right leg of the stitch on the left. We're going right in between here and right at the base. So we're going to snip these bottom stitches, and taking our time, we're going to go in between. But what you're going to cut is the running thread. So let's see if I can pull this open. There it is. Okay, folks, I'm going to use not the hook part. Here is the running thread. So I'm going to snip this guy and snip this carefully, and one at a time. I'm cutting this, and I'm going in between, and I'm cutting, let's see, these guys, okay? Everywhere that it's picking up with the hook, snip, 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 snip. If you nick this, it's not the end of the world because this leg is secured, but our goal is to cut the running threads going right up in between these. And that's it. And when we're done, this is going to fold to the inside of the work. And so this and this is going to be on the inside, and it's not going to show. It's going to form a fold like that. And then that's how we're going to turn it. And from the public side, we're going to then, with our needle, not our crochet hook, we're going to go in and pick up stitches. We're actually going to start at the ribbing, and we're going to pick up 5 stitches here, about, I believe, 19 from here. It's in the pattern from here to here, 16 of color work, and then there's at least 1 plain stitch on one side and 2 on the other, across here, and then 5 stitches on the edge of this ribbing. And that's how we're going to form our button band. And when we do it, we're going to go into that last solid row of main color, either the back loop of that, or you can also go in below the stitches from the contrast. Okay, once it's cut and it folds, you'll be able to see where you're going to pick up. All right, I hope that was helpful. Take care. Don't be scared.